All right, so here we are, my first ever live stream. So like I said, this is just a real short one. It's mostly a test to see if this actually works. But you can actually chat in the YouTube chat. I see people over here. I'll say something. Hi. There. So it seems to be working okay. I understand there's a bit of a delay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a demonstration of how to use our new Antiquity Medieval Build Kit to build. You can build pretty much anything you want from a medieval building perspective. Again, if you've seen the other video, this kit is for one-story buildings only. We're going to add a second kit that'll do multi-story buildings and stuff like that. And we're going to be adding a lot of additional furnishings, detailed features, things like chandeliers, wall sconces, fireplaces, all that kind of stuff will be coming eventually. It's not there yet. Right now, the first thing, we've put out a bar, some bar stools. There's a bed, but it's not under the Antiquity name. I'll probably make it under the Antiquity name at some point. And then this build kit is the first of its kind. So there used to be kits like this. I'm in the wrong window again. There used to be kits like this in Second Life, but most of them are gone now, and none of them were this sophisticated, I guess is the word for it. Morph used to make one that was very similar to this. In fact, I kind of used him as inspiration for the design. But you got walls and you got walls, and that was it. These walls are made with texture changers in them, so that you can actually change the textures to look how you want, and then when you have them the way you want, you can delete the textures out of it, and it'll stay like it is. So I showed that in the other video, but let me show you really quickly. So here we have, in fact, I built this house the other day, but I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. So this is the texture changer down here on the ground. And if I click on it, I get a menu that pops up, and I can actually pick what I want to work on. So you can do the floor, which are these panels over here. You can do the foundation, which is the bottom part of the floor. These floors all come with foundations, so you can use them externally on unlevel ground. So you can change the texture of the flooring, the stone of the foundation. You can change the glass in the window panels down here. You can change what the glass looks like. You can change what the roof looks like. You can change, there's a set of steps. You can change what they look like. And then all of these walls, you can change them. So I'm going to show you the wall real quickly. So let me zoom in on that. Now you can see the wall panels, but I'm going to click wall, and I'm going to pick stone and brown. And then all of the walls change to a matching set of stone, even on the roof. So you can set it up with whatever of these pre-made textures that you want. All right, but today I'm going to do something really kind of strange and silly. These are wood beams that I created. As part of the kit, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sizes of wood beams, and they come in 6 different dimensions, anywhere from 0.25 meters by 0.25 meters all the way up to 1 meter by 1 meter, and then there's 20 different lengths from 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, all the way up to 20 meters in each of the 6 different dimensions. And I explained the reason for that is when you stretch them, and I can actually show you. I'll take this one right here and stretch it. Let's unlink that. I'm going to grab the smallest one here and make a copy of it. Watch what happens when I stretch it and make it longer. The longer you make it, and the bigger that you make it, notice that the bevel at the end right here starts really deforming, because it's stretching the entire beam, and no matter how long you make it, you still want the bevel to be the exact same length as it is in all of these pieces. You want the bevel to be right there on the end, right there on the end. You don't want it to be stretched out and look horrific. So this way, by providing all these different beams, you don't have to stretch them much. The most you would stretch it is maybe a half a meter at most. Okay, so what I thought I would do is, instead of building a building today, because I don't have much time, we're having the debauchery days party in about 30 minutes now. So what we're going to do is we're going to build, I mentioned you could do this. You could build doors, you could build rafts, you could build fences, you could build anything you want to using these beams, just using beams. So let's do that today. Let's take a beam that's about about this long. How long is that? That is 5 meters long. So I'm going to take one that's 5 meters long. I'm going to drag it over here into this grassy area where I'm at. So you can watch how I transform this into something. So first thing I'm going to do is lay it horizontally. Kind of like that. Then I'm going to clone it and put a little bit of a gap between them. And then just grab both of them, do the same thing again, clone them and drag them over and put a little gap. And then grab all 4, do the same thing, put a little gap. And let's just do 2 more. That might be too many. It's okay if it goes this way. I want it to be rectangular in shape. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 of these beams. They're I think they're a half meter wide. Yeah, they're a half meter wide. So that's 5 meters, right? So it should be about the same length as one of them. So let's take one and pull it up, drag it over. See that it's almost the perfect length, and it's because I have these gaps that made it longer than 5 meters. So what we can do is we can just stretch that a little bit.
Motion detected at your front door.
Hey, motion detected at my front door. Amazon, great. And then lower it down. Then pull it. I just cloned it. Pull it to the end. We'll take that one and put it to the other end. And then if we take both of them and pull them down like that, you now have a raft, right? That looks like a raft, kind of like a raft. And then if we select all of those and link them together, it's right now unlinked, it's 14 Li for that. But if we link it, it drops it down in half, 50% reduction. It's only 7 Li. So here we have kind of like what could be a raft that is only 7 Li. Or if I wanted to play with it, I could turn it into a fence, turn it upright, and now it's kind of like a fence. So instead of having to work with prims, you just treat these like they're prims, and you can build stuff very, very quickly. And it looks better than it does as prims because the edges are beveled, and it's using a high-resolution material-enabled texture out of Substance Painter. So that's the kind of things that you can do with these beams, other than what we did with them yesterday when we built a house. Was we used them to fill in the corners. So when you had 2 wall sections and the wall sections didn't quite meet, so you could have a kind of a place where maybe the textures were blinking because they were overlapping, or you might have a little gap or something. You could take one of these beams and place it upright in that gap. In fact, I'll show you. So, okay, so let's delete that. Gotta hit the delete key to delete something. So let's take a couple wall sections here. Say I was making a wall and I was using these two, and I put them together, and because of where I have them, they might not fit exactly together. So you have a little gap. Well, you know, nobody wants to look at a gap. So what we do is we can come over here and grab a beam, unlink. These beams all come linked together when you buy the kit. And so this just unlinking them makes it easier to work with. So we want one that's about, the wall is 5 meters high, so let's get one that's 5 meters high. So this is 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, 4 meter, 5 meter. So that's the 5 meter one. We'll pull it over to where I was making these walls. And we'll square it up. Place it here. And then you just put it so that it kind of covers the wall where they come together. So now you have the gap filled and you can't see it. And if you need to do it on both sides, you can either place another beam on the outside or you can stretch this one until it goes through, which takes less prim. Like that. Maybe you want to stretch it up a little bit just so it's taller than the other walls. And so now you have two walls that are kind of joined together by this beam. They're dark on the inside of the building, they're light on the outside of the building. So that's a really quick demonstration of what you can use these beams for. Another thing, so if you guys probably don't know this, but I used to be heavily involved in Game of Thrones roleplay, and I actually built Castle Black from the Game of Thrones TV series using prims. So I actually built the whole thing out just using prim walls, prim cubes mostly. Just like I did this, I made the prim into like a board, and then I put a bunch of these boards together, and I linked them all together and tinted them dark brown, and it came out looking like an actual wall at Castle Black. You could do the same thing with this and it would look a lot better and wouldn't be super high LI. So if just real quick, I'm going to do this as rapidly as I can. We're going to build a tiny little house. This is going to be a really small house. So this panel, this floor panel is 7 meters by 7 meters. It's designed to be the width of one wall panel on all four sides. Now, that's such a small house, nobody would want a house that small. But you can use this in conjunction with the other floor panels to make a bigger floor plan. But just for this, because I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to just use that one to make it very small. So let's put a door in the front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to snap this to the grid. Okay, so at 104 meters, so I'll put this one at 104 meters too. If I can see, 104, and just pull it to the front of this floor and then raise it up so that just no gap underneath it. Now I'm going to place something in the back. We'll use this one. Now I'm going to rotate it so that the dark side is inside. And we'll place it at the same height as this one by copying Control-C and then Control-V to paste it. So now it's the same height. Gonna put it right there, center it on 104 meters, and then we'll put a window on each side. And the windows will go with the dark side in, one on this side, one on this side. I should have probably centered this way too. Let's put it at 108, and then I'll just move these back over where they were. Placement on these, it doesn't have to be exact yet until we get all four of them on there, so we see how they fit together. So 108 is where these things are centered. Gotta see the numbers. 108 right there. So bring that in. And bring this one in. Set them to the right height again on both of these. Control-C to copy the height. Control-V to paste it. Control-V to paste that one. And now we have we can align them to the front of the edge of the floor. You'll see how on each one of the corners where these walls come together, they don't touch smoothly. This is where you could use a beam as well. You could put a beam here to get rid of this kind of inset little corner. All right, so we have the walls in place. Now let's put a roof on it. This is a 7x7 roof. The smallest one is 7x7. It's meant to fit on this. So let's put that at 104, and then get it down here close. And I don't remember which one. I think 120, 108, 108. Yeah, 108. Okay, so now it's centered over the floor, and we lower it down until there's no visible gap between the beams, like that. Yep, there's no light showing through, so I think it's okay. And then, you know, this house has a raised floor, so it needs a step. Let's grab the steps, and then we will shift and drag the steps over here. Put them on 104 so that they're centered. Look like the whole building is floating in midair. So let's grab everything. And we'll lower it down until it kind of rests on the floor so that the steps look great. Okay, now we need a door and 2 windows. So let's go grab the Windows panel. Let's pick the one with the 9 pieces in it. We'll shift drag that over there. And then again, these have a dark side for the interior and a lighter side for the outside. This is darker than this, so this is the inside. So we'll rotate it there. Now here's a little trick to get this in there quickly and easily. Just copy the location of this wall, and that will center the window on the wall in all 3 axes. So we just copy the location, the position information, click on the window and paste it, and voila, it is now centered. Now that might not be exactly where it needs to go, so you might want to tweak it a little bit. Like I see the edge of this over here, so I'm going to pull it that way just a little. Okay, that worked. And then I'm going to clone this, spin it around, copy this wall's position, paste that in, and then check it. Pull it this way just a little. There you go. So now we have windows in place. We just need a door. Then I can go over here and grab my door and the hinges. Gotta get both pieces. It actually goes the other way because you want your doors to open in to the building, not open outside. And I explained why in my other video. If your doors open the other way, then you can't lock your door. You can't bar it. In fact, people could bar you and lock you inside if the door opens to the outside. So all exterior doors to your buildings need to open to the inside. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it's sticking out way too far. So we're going to pull this back until the hinges go right into the wood a little bit. Then you know it's right. And it's okay to have a little bit of a gap around the door because you need some air space between it. And then if you click on it, you see the door actually opens and closes. We now have built a medieval tiny house. This is our medieval tiny house. I can walk over here and go inside. Click on it, go inside. Maybe I have, you know, like a little medieval cot in here and a potbelly stove or something. So now you have a completely finished house in just a matter of minutes. Anyway, I think it's cool. I don't know what you guys think. So that's it. I'm going to end the stream at this point. I just thought this would be a good first attempt at me having a stream showing people how to do stuff. I'll work on coming up with some ideas for some bigger ones. And as I do more and more of these projects, I will do more and more of these streams. Please let me know your comments, what you think of this, and if anything I could do better, and any topics that you'd like to see me do. It doesn't have to be promoting my products. I could be doing like showing you how to do things in Blender, showing you how to do things in Substance Painter or Photoshop. You know, if you want to watch me actually modeling in Blender and do a project, I can actually live stream doing that project as well. So let me know what you guys like, what you don't like, and how we could make it better for you. Anyway, thank you for participating, and I will see you guys back in Second Life.